What if I told you that you're 60 seconds away from changing your reality? Not tomorrow, not next week. Now? And all you need is your own finger. If this video showed up for you, it wasn't by accident. It's a sign that your current reality, with its cycles of frustration and the feeling that something's missing, has already started to crumble. You're not here to learn something new. You're here to remember a power that has been hidden from you for millennia. A power the ancient Egyptians knew so well that they guarded it as their most sacred secret. They knew that most people live as prisoners of a reality they didn't choose, trapped in a meaningless routine, never realizing that the key to the cell was always in their hands. This key is an ancient knowledge, protected by Thoth himself, the scribe of the gods. A knowledge so simple and, at the same time, so powerful, that it can start an immediate shift in your life. You feel it, don't you? That restlessness, that certainty that you were made for something more than just paying bills and waiting for the weekend. That feeling isn't a mistake. It's a calling. It's your consciousness waking up and saying, enough. You're just 60 seconds away from answering that call. What I'm about to show you isn't a theory. It's a practical technique, a step-by-step that begins now. And the simple fact that you found this is final proof that the shift is already happening. Stay with me, because your life is about to change. If you felt the call, comment below. I am ready. This ancient reason that brought you here is directly tied to a figure who walked the earth millennia ago, an entity of such vast wisdom that its influence echoes through the ages. In the fertile lands of the Nile, where pyramids touched the skies, he was known as Thoth. He was the celestial scribe, the one who, with his feather, recorded not only the history of men, but the destiny of the gods themselves in the Hall of Two Truths. Over the centuries and through cultural fusion, Thoth's wisdom traveled to Greece. There, his figure was syncretized with the god Hermes, the messenger of the gods. From that union came a new identity, a new name for the guardian of wisdom, Hermes Trismegistus, which means Hermes the thrice great. Throughout history, fragments of this wisdom appeared in different cultures and eras, but rarely in its pure and complete form. It was distorted, misunderstood, used to control instead of liberate. But now, in this time of great planetary awakening, the veil is being lifted. The truth Thoth protected is coming to the surface, not by chance, but by necessity. And the first layer of that truth to be revealed is the most fundamental of all. The perception of who you really are was built on a completely false foundation. The biggest lie you've ever been told, repeated endlessly since your birth, is that you are your body, that you are this physical, solid entity, a bundle of flesh, bones, and blood, separate from everything and everyone around you. This idea is the root of all feelings of loneliness, competition, and fear. But both ancient wisdom and cutting-edge science, like quantum physics, now point to the same shocking truth. This perception of solidity is an illusion. You're not an object in the universe. You are the universe itself expressing as a vibrational field, a complex symphony of energy and information in constant motion. Think of the machines that measure life in a hospital. An electrocardiogram doesn't measure the heart muscle, but the electrical current that makes it beat. An EEG doesn't measure the gray matter of the brain, but the electrical impulses that make up your thoughts. What these instruments are actually reading is your life force, your energy. You're more like a radio station, transmitting and receiving frequencies, than like a stone statue. Every thought you have, every emotion you feel, is not just a subjective experience. It's an electrical and chemical event that instantly changes the frequency of your overall vibration. This energy you emit isn't contained within your skin. It radiates outward, interacting with the energy field of everything around you. That's why you can feel the vibe of a place the moment you walk in, or feel drained or energized around certain people. You're constantly exchanging energetic information with the world. Past traumas, deep fears, limiting beliefs like I'm not good enough or life is hard. These aren't just abstract memories. They are energetic knots, real blockages in your vibrational field, like static in a radio transmission, distorting the signal you send to the universe. When you start to see yourself not as a body, but as a conscious energy field, everything changes. You stop being a passive victim of the world and become an active participant in the creation of your reality. You understand that your outer life is a direct mirror of your inner state. If your field is full of knots and energetic blocks of fear and scarcity, your reality will reflect exactly that. More reasons to fear and more experiences of lack. Real change doesn't happen by changing things out there, but by dissolving those blocks in here, by tuning your own frequency. This understanding is terrifying to the ego, which identifies with the body and with the personal story of suffering. The ego wants you to believe that you're separate, special, and often a victim. But to your soul, this truth is liberation. It means you're not bound to your past, your genetics, or your circumstances. At any moment, you can choose to shift your vibration. With each new thought, each new consciously chosen emotion, you're rewriting your energetic field and, as a result, rewriting the script of your life. This shift in perception is the first and most crucial step. Before any technique, before any ritual, comes the understanding that you operate on an energetic level. Every cell in your body, every atom that makes you up, is listening to your thoughts and feeling your emotions. When you align with feelings of gratitude, love, and joy, your energetic field expands and becomes coherent. When you give in to fear, anger, or resentment, your field contracts and becomes chaotic. The quality of your life is a direct reflection of the coherence of your energy field. And it's exactly this shift in your vibration, this transition from a state of contraction to one of expansion, that opens a portal. Not some mystical portal in a faraway place, but a biological portal within you. A center of power that was revered by all ancient cultures, known to be the bridge between the physical world and higher dimensions of consciousness. An organ that modern science long considered vestigial, but that the ancients knew was the key to seeing beyond the veil of illusion. This vibration that opens the portal resonates in a specific point of your body, a place that holds one of the greatest secrets of human consciousness, located exactly in the space between your eyebrows, slightly above. This point is much more than a simple anatomical location. To the ancient Egyptians, it was the eye of Horus, the symbol of omniscience, protection, and royal power. To Hindu traditions, it is the Ajna chakra, the sixth energy center, known as the third eye, the seat of intuition and extrasensory perception. Tibetan mystics considered it a gateway to invisible realms and other dimensions of existence. This ancient wisdom is not just poetry. Modern science is only beginning to catch up with what the ancients already knew. Anatomically, this point corresponds to the location of the pineal gland, a small pine cone-shaped endocrine gland situated at the geometric center of the brain. For centuries, Western science dismissed it, considering it a vestigial organ with no significant function. However, the philosopher René Descartes, in the 17th century, prophetically described it as the principal seat of the soul, the meeting point between body and spirit, where thoughts are formed. The pineal gland is not just an evolutionary leftover. It's an extraordinarily complex biological antenna. It's made up of light-sensitive cells, very similar to those found in the retina of our eyes, and it responds to cycles of light and darkness by producing melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep, but its function goes far beyond that. Esoteric traditions claim that, when activated, the pineal gland is capable of producing endogenous substances that allow for expanded consciousness experiences, opening perception to frequencies of reality far beyond the reach of our conventional five senses. The ancients didn't need microscopes to understand the power of this portal. They discovered, through introspection and practice, that this center was not just symbolic, it was functional. They realized it was possible to wake this gland from its dormancy, caused by years of calcification due to environmental toxins and a disconnection from our spiritual nature. And they discovered something even more impressive, that the initial activation of this center could be triggered by a surprisingly simple method, a conscious gesture that, in less than a minute, could begin to reverse years of spiritual sleep. Imagine having a super radio antenna in your home, capable of picking up transmissions from across the universe, but it's been turned off and covered in dust your whole life. You got used to hearing only the few local stations your portable radio could tune into, believing that's all there is. The pineal gland is that super antenna. Activating it is like plugging it in for the first time and starting to turn the dial, discovering a multitude of new songs, new voices, new realities that were always there, but completely inaccessible to you. This portal between your eyes is the bridge between the world you think is real and the realm of infinite possibilities. It's the biological hardware that allows your consciousness to access the quantum field, the place where thoughts become things. Most people live and die with this portal closed, calcified, operating with only a tiny fraction of their perceptual potential. They remain trapped in the consensus reality, the limited world of the five senses, without ever knowing they hold the key to transcend that prison. The knowledge of how to awaken this inner eye was one of the most well-guarded secrets of the mystery schools, because whoever controls perception controls reality. And activating this center gives the power of perception back to the individual. However, before you can fully open this portal, you must first understand what keeps it blocked. The dormancy of the pineal gland is not just physical, it's a direct reflection of blockages on a much subtler level, the level of your life force energy flow. The dormancy of this inner portal is a symptom, not the cause. The real issue lies in the flow of your vital energy. If you feel like your life is stuck, like your dreams always seem far away, like you try hard but never move forward, the answer isn't in your external actions, it's in your internal energy system. Over 5,000 years ago, traditional Chinese medicine had already mapped the human body not as a collection of organs, but as an intricate network of energy rivers, invisible channels called meridians. Through these rivers flows life force energy, which they called qi. When qi flows freely and abundantly, like a powerful, clean river, life flourishes in every area. Health is strong, the mind is clear, emotions are balanced, and opportunities seem to appear naturally in your path. You feel energized, creative, and in sync with the universe. In this state, the manifestation of your desires isn't a struggle. It's a natural consequence of your energetic alignment. You are in flow, and life flows through you without resistance, nourishing every aspect of your being and your external reality. But what happens to most people? Throughout life, negative experiences, unresolved traumas, repetitive toxic thoughts, and suppressed emotions like anger, sadness, and fear act like debris being thrown into those rivers of energy. Every painful event that isn't processed and released becomes a dam. a blockage that stops the natural flow of qi. The energy, which should flow freely, starts to stagnate, pooling in certain areas while other parts of your system become undernourished and depleted of life force. That stagnant energy is the true cause of most of the problems we face. On the mental level, it shows up as confusion, lack of clarity, procrastination, and the inability to make decisions. On the emotional level, it becomes anxiety, depression, irritability, and a persistent sense of heaviness. And inevitably, that internal stagnation projects outward, creating a reality that perfectly mirrors the blockage. Your bank account, the quality of your relationships, your physical health, your career. Everything is a faithful reflection of the state of your internal energy flow. A blocked life is always the result of blocked energy. You can try everything in the outside world. You can work more hours, take more courses, read more self-help books. But if the dams in your inner rivers aren't removed, you'll just be fighting against the current. It's like trying to fill a leaky bucket. You keep putting in more effort, more time, more energy. But the result is always the same: frustration and exhaustion. True transformation doesn't happen by adding more things, but by removing the blocks that prevent your own life force from flowing the way it should. The system we live in, with its constant stress, information overload, and focus on materialism, massively contributes to the creation of these blockages. We're taught to ignore our emotions, to swallow our tears, to suppress anger, and to move on without processing our pain. Every unfelt emotion, every unspoken word becomes another piece of debris in your energy rivers. Over time, the flow becomes so restricted that life loses its color, its spark, its magic. You start operating in survival mode instead of creation mode. But the good news is these blocks aren't permanent. Just like a dam can be removed, so a river can flow again. Your energy blocks can be dissolved. And there is a technique, a synthesis of wisdom from millennia, that combines a simple physical gesture with focused intention to begin blasting through those dams and restoring your personal power flow. You're about to learn the first step in becoming the engineer of your own energy, starting with the most fundamental principle of creation: clarity of vision. The restoration of your energy flow begins with a command. And that command is the image you hold in your mind. The first step to manifesting anything in your life, to giving direction to your newly unblocked energy, is to obey the universal law that Thoth inscribed on his tablets, and that all the great masters of creation taught. What you can clearly see in your mind, you can hold in your hand. Visualization isn't a childish pastime or some vague positive thinking. It's the act of creating an energetic blueprint, a detailed draft of the reality you want to build. The universe doesn't respond to ambiguous requests. "I want more money" is a vague desire that dissolves into the ether. "I want to be happy" is a formless abstraction. Energy needs a clear instruction to know what to turn into. Your mental image needs to be so sharp, so vivid, so full of sensory details that a complete stranger, if they could peek into your mind, would be able to describe exactly what you're seeing. Clarity is what transforms a weak wish into a powerful command to the quantum field. So let's make it practical. Don't just think about more money. Close your eyes and see the screen of your banking app. See the updated balance with the exact amount you want. See the numbers, the comma, the cents. Feel the emotion that image brings you. Don't just wish for love. Build the scene. Feel the touch of your ideal person's hand in yours. Feel the warmth of their skin. Hear the specific sound of their laughter echoing in a place you love. Smell their perfume. The more sensory details you add, the more real the image becomes to your brain and to the universe. Your brain can't tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. To your brain, both are real. When you visualize with that level of detail, your brain starts releasing the same neurotransmitters and creating the same neural pathways it would if the experience were actually happening. You are literally rehearsing your new reality on a neurological level. You're preparing your body and mind to receive that new experience as something familiar, not something strange and far away. This act of clear visualization is like drawing the blueprint of a house before starting to build it. No builder starts stacking bricks randomly hoping a house will appear. He follows a detailed plan. Your mental image is that plan. It tells universal energy exactly what shape to take. Without that clarity, your creative energy stays scattered, directionless, like an army without a general. Clarity focuses that energy like a laser beam, giving it power and precision to manifest your goal. Take a moment now to define with crystal clarity one thing you want to manifest. Just one for now, so you can concentrate all your power. Build the final scene, the moment just after your desire has come true. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. The how is the universe's job. Your only task is to define the what with as much precision as possible. See it, hear it, feel it, smell it, taste it. Make it so real in your mind that you feel an emotional shift in your body right now. Once you have that image, that perfectly defined energetic mold, you're ready for the next step. Because having the blueprint isn't enough. You need to turn on the power, activate the machinery that's going to take that plan and start materializing it in the physical world. You need to awaken the organ that was designed specifically for this function, the organ that turns inner vision into outer reality. You need to activate the eye that sees beyond the veil. Now that the blueprint of your new reality is clear in your mind, it's time to start the engine of creation. To do this, we'll use a simple physical gesture to send a direct signal to your power center. I ask that you close your eyes, if you haven't already. Take a few deep breaths, exhaling slowly, allowing any tension in your shoulders and jaw to dissolve. Quiet your stream of thoughts and bring your full attention to this moment, to the here and now. This is your point of power, the only moment when creation can happen. Now, bring your index or middle finger of your dominant hand to the exact point between your eyebrows. Then begin to rhythmically tap this point. It doesn't need to be hard, but firm and conscious. Tap, 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 about 20 times in a steady rhythm, like the beat of a soft drum. As you do this, keep your breathing deep and relaxed. Feel the subtle vibration each tap sends through your frontal bone, echoing directly into the center of your brain where your pineal gland resides. This act, known in some traditions as tapping, is much more than a simple touch. You're sending a wave of piezoelectric energy through the crystalline structure of your bones, a vibrational signal that acts like an alarm clock for your dormant pineal gland. You're literally knocking on the door of your inner portal, signaling that it's time to wake up. Keep breathing deeply and feel how the muscles in your forehead, around your eyes, and across your whole face begin to deeply relax, releasing tensions you didn't even know were there. Don't be surprised if, as you do this, you start to notice visual phenomena behind your closed eyelids. You might see flashes of light, bright dots, or even pulsating colors, like clouds of blue, violet, or golden white dancing in your inner visual field. Don't try to analyze or understand this with your logical mind. Just observe. These lights aren't your imagination. They're the first tangible sign that you're beginning to activate your subtle perception. They're proof that you're accessing frequencies of energy and light that were previously completely invisible to you. These lights are the visual manifestation of your own life force being concentrated and activated. It's your primal creative force beginning to gather in this center of power. For most people, this energy is scattered throughout the body, drained by anxious thoughts and useless worries. With this simple tapping exercise, you're calling that energy back home, concentrating it in the point from which all manifestation originates. You're gathering your troops for the great work of creation. Keep tapping until you feel a subtle shift, a tingling, pulsing, or warmth in the area of your third eye. This is the sign that the portal is responding, that the antenna is starting to power on. You're awakening a neurological and energetic ability that has been dormant for a long time. This is the moment when you stop being just a physical body and begin to remember your nature as a being of light and energy, capable of perceiving and interacting with reality on a much deeper level. At the end of the 20 taps, stop, keep your eyes closed and just feel. Feel the energy vibrating, pulsing in the center of your forehead. You've awakened the eye that sees beyond. You've opened the first crack in the door of perception. Now that the portal is active and the energy is concentrated, you're ready for the next step, which is the most crucial of all. The moment when you take the blueprint of your new reality and infuse it with this pure creative energy, initiating the process of materialization. Now I'll expand everything with rich detail, using my full character limit in a dynamic, linear way, without repeating what has already been said or what will be addressed in the next section. With the energy pulsing in your third eye, the portal is now active. After the 20 taps, your finger stops but doesn't move away. Instead of tapping, you now apply a gentle, steady pressure to the same point. This is the principle of acupressure, the ancient art of using pressure to dissolve blockages in the energy meridians and direct the flow of qi. Keep this pressure light but firm. This act of pressing acts as an amplifier, taking the energy you awakened with the tapping and focusing it into a concentrated and coherent beam. It's the difference between a light bulb, which lights up a room diffusely, and a laser, which focuses that same energy into a powerful point. As you maintain this pressure, you'll likely notice that the lights and colors you saw before become more intense, brighter, and more focused. What was once a colorful mist may now look like a miniature sun or a spinning vortex of light behind your closed eyelids. Don't fear this intensity. Welcome it. This is your creative power in its purest form, the raw material from which worlds are made, now concentrated and at your disposal. You are at the control center of your own consciousness, holding the steering wheel of your manifestation ability. This is the power the ancient masters knew existed within every human being, waiting to be rediscovered and used. Now, with this concentrated and pulsing energy, bring back into your mind that perfectly clear image you built in the previous step. See the blueprint of your new reality in all its vivid detail. And then, with focused and unwavering intention, command this light, this pulsing energy you feel in your forehead, to flow directly into your mental image. Imagine a beam of white or golden light shooting out from your third eye and completely filling the scene you visualized. See this light energizing every pixel of your vision, infusing it with life force and manifestation power. Watch how your mental image reacts to this infusion of energy. The colors become more vibrant, the sounds sharper, the sensations more real. Your vision is no longer a static image. It comes to life, pulsing with the same energy you feel in your forehead. You are no longer just observing the scene. You're in it, living it, feeling it in every cell of your being. In this exact moment, something extraordinary and profound is happening in the fabric of reality. The thin line that separates what you imagine from what is real begins to dissolve. to become irrelevant. In this state, you're operating in the language of the universe. The quantum field doesn't respond to words or requests. It responds to energy signatures and vibrational frequencies. By merging your clear image, information, with this focused, elevated energy, vibration, you're creating a powerful, unmistakable energetic signature. You're sending a clear, potent signal to the universe, a command that cannot be ignored. You're imprinting the field of all possibilities with your specific desire, turning a mere possibility into an imminent probability. This is the true act of mental alchemy, the transmutation of thought into energy, and energy into matter. You took an abstract idea and turned it into a living, pulsing, energetic mold. The separation between your inner world and the outer world begins to collapse. For your consciousness, in this moment, your vision is already real. You're no longer wishing for something to happen in the future. You're experiencing its fulfillment in the eternal now. And to seal this creative act, to give it its final stamp of approval, you now need to align your emotion with this new reality. And to do that, you'll use an affirmation that doesn't question, doesn't ask, but celebrates what's already done. A phrase so simple and at the same time so powerful that it bypasses all the defenses of your logical mind and speaks directly in the language of feeling, the language of the soul. While you maintain the gentle pressure on your forehead and the vivid, energized image in your mind, you will introduce the final and most powerful element of creation, feeling. The mind creates the map, but it's the heart that provides the fuel. To generate the feeling that your desire is already a done deal, you'll use a specific phrase, an affirmation that the master of manifestation, Neville Goddard, considered one of the most powerful ever. Silently in your mind, or in a soft whisper, begin to repeat the phrase, "Isn't it wonderful?" Repeat it several times, letting the words echo through your being. Isn't it wonderful? Feel the cadence, the melody of the phrase, and pay close attention to its structure. Notice that it's not a question seeking an answer. It's not, "Isn't this wonderful?" It's a declarative statement, a celebration of a fact that already exists. By using this phrase, you're making a genius move. You're completely bypassing your logical mind, the skeptical gatekeeper that would immediately ask, "How is this going to happen?" or "That's impossible." The logical mind doesn't know how to respond to this affirmation, and it simply goes quiet. By repeating, "Isn't it wonderful?" you enter a state of almost hypnotic suggestion, where the only reality that exists is that of your desire already fulfilled. You're not trying to convince yourself of anything. You're assuming the feeling of your vision already manifested. How would you feel the moment you saw the desired bank balance, or received the news you'd been waiting for, or met the person you love? You'd feel relief, joy, a gratitude so deep it would make you sigh and think, "Wow, isn't it wonderful?" That exact feeling is what you're generating right now, in advance. This affirmation is the key that turns the lock of your subconscious mind. The subconscious operates based on feelings and beliefs, not logic. When you feel that something is real, your subconscious accepts it as truth and begins working relentlessly to manifest that truth into your physical reality. By repeating these words, you're not asking the universe, you're not waiting for something. You're tuning your vibration to the frequency of your already existing reality in another dimension, in the quantum field. You're acknowledging what is already yours by divine right. Let the feeling of wonder fill your whole body. Feel a smile forming on your lips. Feel the lightness in your chest. Feel the gratitude bubbling inside you. Allow this emotion to become your dominant truth in this moment. Forget the outside world. Forget your current circumstances. Forget your doubts. For these few seconds, the only truth is that your desire is done, and it is absolutely wonderful. This feeling is the magnetic seal that draws the manifestation to you. It is the amen of your creative act. This step transforms the process from something you're doing into something you're being. You're no longer trying to manifest. You are being the person who already has what you desire. This identity shift is the deepest secret of conscious creation. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. And by feeling that it is wonderful, you are becoming on a vibrational level, the person who lives in that new reality. You're aligning with your future self, bringing that version of you into the present moment. Keep repeating the phrase and feeling the emotion until it becomes your only reality. Feel it in every cell. Let gratitude and joy wash away any trace of doubt or fear. You have just given the final command. You provided the blueprint. You turned on the power. And now you seal the deal with a feeling of fulfillment. The process of creation on the energetic level is complete. Now you only need one final step to anchor this new vibration into your physical body and remember your true nature. After fully immersing yourself in the feeling that your desire is already real, a feeling in every fiber of your being that it is wonderful, you can finally let go. Gently release the pressure of your finger from your forehead and, keeping your eyes closed, bring your hands in front of you, a few inches apart, at chest level. Don't let them touch. Just hold them there, with your palms facing each other. And now, bring your full attention to the space between your hands. Just feel. At first, you may not feel anything. Be patient. Quiet your mind and simply observe. Soon, you'll begin to notice subtle sensations. A warmth radiating from one palm to the other. A slight tingling in your fingertips. A sense of density in the air, as if there were something invisible, but tangible, between your hands. You may even feel a soft pulse or a magnetic force, a light resistance or attraction when you try to move your hands closer together or farther apart. Don't doubt what you're feeling. What you're feeling is your own energy. This is a tactile, physical, undeniable reminder of your true nature, the truth we discussed at the beginning. You're not just a solid body. You are this vibrant, pulsing field of energy. The sensation between your hands is the physical proof of your electromagnetic field, your light body. This simple exercise anchors the intellectual understanding that you are energy into a direct bodily experience. You're no longer just thinking about it, you're feeling it. Now remember the most fundamental principle of physics, the first law of thermodynamics. Energy can never be created or destroyed. It only transforms from one state to another. The money you desire, the health you seek, the love you long for, the opportunity you need, all of it already exists. Maybe not yet as physical things in your immediate reality, but as energy and pure potential in the quantum field. Everything you could possibly desire already exists as a vibrational frequency in the universe, waiting for a command to manifest. What you just did in the last 60 seconds was a masterful act of energy transmutation. You took potential energy and gave it a form and a direction. Your clear mental image, the blueprint you created, was the mold. The energy you awakened and focused in your third eye was the raw material. And the feeling that it is wonderful was the catalyst that started the transformation. You just gave universal energy a new instruction, a new shape to take in your life. This is the secret Thoth inscribed on the emerald tablet, the principle of correspondence and vibration in action. You worked in the realm of energy so that the realm of matter has no choice but to follow. You just experienced, in your own body, in less than a minute, the full process of conscious creation. You no longer need to believe this is possible. You now know, because you felt it. You felt the energy in your forehead, You felt the emotion in your heart. You felt the field between your hands. Now you can relax your hands, open your eyes, and return to your day. But something has changed. You are no longer the same person who closed your eyes a minute ago. You remembered your power. You practiced the act of creation. And while the process may seem esoteric or mystical, what you just did is perfectly aligned with the most recent discoveries of modern science, which is only now beginning to prove what the ancient sages have always known. What you just accomplished may seem like a mystical ritual, but in reality, it's a sophisticated exercise in applied neuroscience and quantum physics. Every step you took has a scientific basis that explains why it's so effective. Modern science is finally providing the language to describe the mechanisms behind ancient magic. You don't need blind faith to accept this power. You can understand the logic behind it, which makes your practice even more powerful and deliberate, eliminating the doubts that could sabotage your results. Let's start with visualization. When you create a vivid mental image, your brain activates the same regions that would be activated if you were actually living that experience. This has been proven by countless neuroimaging studies. This process, known as mental rehearsal, strengthens and creates new neural pathways. You're literally rewiring your brain to accept your new reality as fact. You're building the neurological structure of your new identity before it even manifests externally. The act of tapping and pressing the third eye also has a scientific basis. The pineal gland, located directly behind that point, is sensitive to pressure and vibration. Mechanical stimulation can influence its activity. Additionally, acupressure is an ancient practice whose effectiveness in releasing endorphins and modulating the autonomic nervous system is increasingly recognized. By pressing that point, you're calming your sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight, and activating the parasympathetic system, rest and digest, creating the ideal brain-heart coherent state for manifestation. The affirmation, "Isn't it wonderful?" is a masterpiece of psychology. It works as a pattern interrupt for the analytical brain and activates the brain's reward system, releasing dopamine. Dopamine not only makes us feel good, it also boosts focus and motivation. Additionally, by generating an elevated emotion like gratitude and joy, you're changing the chemistry of your body. These emotions cause your heart to beat in a more coherent rhythm, sending a powerful signal to your entire body and to the energetic field around you. A groundbreaking 2015 study from UCLA showed that self-affirmation tasks, especially when focused on future values, can physically build new neural pathways, making people more resilient to stress and more open to new information. Nobel Prize-winning scientist Eric Kandel proved in his memory research that while learning creates new synaptic connections, about half of them are lost in just 3 weeks if the practice isn't repeated. That's why consistency is the absolute key to transformation. Doing this 60-second exercise every day, especially for a period of 21 to 66 days, doesn't just create a new habit. It physically rewires your brain. You're pruning the neural connections of your old self, associated with doubt, fear, and limitation, and strengthening the connections of your new self, associated with confidence, joy, and abundance. Your brain is literally rewiring itself to accept your new reality as your default setting. You're becoming neurologically the person you want to be. But there's something even deeper happening, something conventional. Science is only beginning to grasp. What you did transcends neurochemistry and enters the domain of quantum physics. You interacted with the zero-point field, the sea of energy and information that permeates everything. By creating a coherent energetic signature, clear thought plus elevated emotion, you are influencing that field, causing one of the infinite quantum possibilities to collapse into a material reality experience. You're operating in alignment with the fundamental law that governs all creation. What science is beginning to discover, Thoth and the Hermetic masters had already encoded in a single powerful axiom, the most famous phrase from the Emerald Tablet. That which is below is like that which is above, and that which is above is like that which is below, to accomplish the miracles of the One. This is not a poetic or philosophical phrase, it's a precise formula, an exact description of how the universe works. It's the law of correspondence, the principle that connects all levels of reality. That which is above refers to the realm of the unseen, the world of energy, consciousness, your thoughts, feelings, and visualizations. It's the mental and spiritual realm, the causal plane where everything originates. That which is below is the realm of the seen, the world of matter, your physical circumstances, your events, your health, your finances, and your relationships. It's the plane of effects, the three-dimensional world you perceive with your five senses. The axiom says these two realms are not separate, they are perfect reflections of each other. That means your outer world, the below, is and always will be a flawless mirror of your inner world, the above. There is no separation. There is no randomness. Your physical reality is a 3D printout of your dominant beliefs, thoughts, and emotions. You cannot constantly harbor thoughts of scarcity and fear in your inner world and expect to create a life of abundance and safety in your outer world. It's a vibrational impossibility. You can't vibrate at the frequency of fear and loneliness and expect to attract love and connection. The mirror doesn't lie. By doing the 60-second technique, you're doing something extremely smart. Instead of struggling to change the reflection in the mirror, which is useless and exhausting, you're working directly on the source of the image. You're operating in the above, in the realm of energy and consciousness, so that the below, the realm of matter, has no choice but to conform to the new image you projected. You're changing the cause so that the effect changes automatically. It's the path of least resistance, the path of the master creator. When the ancient Egyptians carved this principle into the walls of their temples and whispered it in their mystery schools, they weren't being metaphorical. They were being literal and precise. They understood that to build a pyramid in the physical plane, it first had to be perfectly built in the mental plane. They knew that to change a circumstance, you first had to change the consciousness behind it. They didn't see the inner and outer worlds as two different realities, but as two aspects of the same and only reality. This principle completely removes the victim mentality. If your outer world is a reflection of your inner world, then you can never be a victim of circumstances. You are always the creator, consciously or unconsciously. This may be a hard pill to swallow at first, because it means taking full responsibility for every aspect of your life. But once the initial shock passes, this understanding becomes the source of supreme freedom. If you created your current reality through past patterns, then you have the absolute power to recreate it through your present patterns. So, every time you practice this ritual, you're consciously applying the most powerful law of the universe. You're clearing your inner world of weeds of doubt and fear, and planting the seeds of the reality you choose. You're becoming a gardener of your own mind, and consequently, an architect of your own destiny. You are living the principle as above, so below, and it's the consistent application of this principle that separates a life of reaction from a life of creation. Understanding this knowledge is powerful, but true transformation doesn't lie in knowing, it lies in doing. The power isn't in the technique itself, but in its consistent application. Think of this 60-second ritual not as a one-time event, but as a daily practice of vibrational hygiene. Just like you brush your teeth every day to maintain your oral health, you need to practice this ritual to maintain your energetic health and align your frequency with the reality you want to create. Consistency is what transforms a single act into a new way of being. Incorporate these 60 seconds into your daily routine. Do it as soon as you wake up, even before checking your phone. Start your day by intentionally setting the frequency you're going to operate on, instead of letting the outside world dictate your state of being. By doing this in the morning, you tune your energy field to gratitude and possibility, creating an attractive force that will work in your favor throughout the entire day. You become the cause, and the day becomes the effect. Use this technique as a realignment tool throughout the day. If you had a stressful meeting or a difficult conversation, find a quiet place, like the office bathroom or inside your car, and take 1 minute to reconnect. Visualize, tap, press, affirm, and feel. This simple act can neutralize hours of stress and negativity, resetting your point of attraction and preventing one negative experience from contaminating the rest of your day. It's your vibrational reset button. Do it especially the moment a negative thought, doubt, or fear pops into your mind. Instead of fighting the thought or getting swept away by it, use it as a trigger, an alarm that reminds you to practice. By doing this, you intercept the negative pattern before it gains momentum and consciously replace it with the frequency of your fulfilled desire. Over time, you'll train your mind to associate the emergence of doubt with the practice of power, turning your biggest fears into your greatest allies. Real and lasting transformation doesn't come from a single intense meditation session or a weekend workshop. It comes from the accumulation of small, conscious daily acts. Every time you complete this 60-second cycle, you're throwing a stone into a still lake. At first, the ripples may seem small, almost imperceptible. But they expand, and with every new stone you throw, day after day, the ripples add up, overlap, and inevitably transform the entire surface of your reality. Don't underestimate the power of 1 minute. 60 seconds might seem insignificant, but these moments are what separate two lives. The life lived on autopilot, reacting to circumstances, and the life lived deliberately, creating circumstances. Each 60-second cycle is a declaration to the universe that you're in charge. It's a vow you make to yourself, a commitment to your power to create. It's the bridge you build, moment by moment, between the reality you have and the reality you desire. Remember, you're rewriting decades of conditioning. Be patient and kind with yourself, but be relentlessly consistent. The old programming will fight to survive, bringing doubts and old thought patterns. Just observe them without judgment and return to your practice. Every time you choose to practice, you weaken the old self and strengthen the new one. And over time, you'll begin to see undeniable signs that the universe is responding to your new vibration. How will you know it's working? How will you know your daily practice is really changing the fabric of your reality? The signs will begin to appear, and they'll come in ways that may surprise you. At first, they'll be subtle, almost like curious coincidences. You'll think of a song, and seconds later, it'll start playing on the radio. You'll think of a friend you haven't spoken to in years, and that same day, you'll get a message from them. Your logical mind will try to dismiss it as chance, but your intuition will know it's something more. As you continue your practice, the signs will become stronger and undeniable. You'll need specific information for a project, and when you open a book or browse the internet, the exact answer will jump out at you, as if it had been waiting. You'll face a small problem, and out of nowhere, the perfect solution will pop into your mind or be suggested by a stranger in a casual conversation. The universe will begin to communicate with you through synchronicities, showing you that it heard your call and is rearranging the pieces of the puzzle for you. Then, opportunities will begin to arise. Doors that once seemed tightly shut will begin to open. People who can help you on your journey will appear in your life from unexpected sources. A job offer, a business idea, a romantic encounter. Exactly what aligns with the vision you've been holding will start to materialize on your path. It may look like luck to others, but you'll know it's not. You'll know it's the universe's response to your new vibrational frequency. You've prepared the ground, Wesadik, and now you're harvesting the fruits. This isn't magic in the superstitious sense of the word, where something comes from nothing. It's a logical and collaborative process by programming your brain with a new image of success and possibility. You activate a mechanism in your brain called the reticular activating system. The RAS acts as a filter for your perception, highlighting in your environment the things that are important to you. When you focus on lack, your RAS shows you all the evidence of lack. But when you focus on your vision, your RAS starts to highlight people, information, and opportunities that match that vision, things that were always there, but that had been completely invisible to you. You'll start to notice that the universe seems to respond to your thoughts and feelings with increasing speed. The time gap between your energetic request and its physical manifestation will begin to shrink. You'll feel more in flow, as if you're dancing with life instead of fighting against it. The sense of struggle and effort will be replaced by a feeling of allowing and receiving. You'll realize that creating the life you want isn't about working harder. It's about aligning more deeply. People around you will notice the change. 2. They might comment on how you seem calmer, happier, more confident. Some people who no longer resonate with your new frequency may naturally drift away from your life, while new people, those aligned with your new self, will be drawn to you. Your energy field is changing, and your social circle, like everything else in your reality, will adjust to reflect that shift. You become a sun, and the right planets naturally enter your orbit. Don't get attached to how or when things will happen. Your only job is to maintain the vibration. The universe knows the fastest and most efficient ways to bring your vision into reality. Paths your logical mind could never conceive. Trust the process. Keep up your daily practice, and watch with a sense of wonder and curiosity as your reality begins to transform before your eyes in ways that once seemed impossible. And that brings us back to the most important question of all. And so, like a circle completing itself, we return to the beginning. To the very first moment your eyes landed on these words. Now you understand. You didn't stumble upon this knowledge by accident or through some random click. Your soul, in its infinite wisdom, called you. It guided you through the complex web of synchronicities to this exact point in time and space, because it knew you were ready. Ready to stop being a reactive passenger in your own life and become the conscious and deliberate architect of your reality. You're ready to let go of the victim story, to stop blaming the past, other people, or external circumstances for what you experience. You're ready to claim your power, to take 100% responsibility for your vibration, and, as a result, for your life. This knowledge didn't come to you just to be interesting information. It arrived as a tool, a key, and with it, a great responsibility. The responsibility to apply it. Reading about it is fascinating. Understanding the concepts is enlightening. But true transformation, the only kind that matters, only happens through consistent practice. Power isn't in knowing what to do. Power is in doing what you know. You can read every spiritual book in the world, watch every lecture. But if you don't apply the knowledge to your own life, it will remain sterile theory, a seed never planted. The magic isn't in the map, it's in the journey. If you felt the truth of these words resonating in your soul, leave your mark. Comment below. My reality has changed now. Every comment with this phrase creates a wave of energy, showing the universe and others who are awakening that they are not alone. For those who felt an even deeper calling and wish to help this channel continue spreading knowledge like this, there's a way to contribute directly in the first pinned comment. Any help you can give is immensely important to me and to the growth of this work, allowing this message to reach more souls who are ready. But know that just the fact that you made it to the end is already a huge help. And if this content transformed something in you, share this video with someone you feel also needs to awaken. But don't leave just yet. Your journey doesn't end here. I've prepared a special video for you, a piece of content that dives deeper into what we've talked about and guides you to the next practical step. It's showing up on the screen right now. Click on it, and I'll meet you there to continue this transformation. I'll see you on the other side.